Meanwhile, everybody, I request you all to please introduce yourselves in the chat box. Feel free to interact amongst yourself, exchange your businesses. Today, we have amongst us a lot of eminent speakers. And we are fortunate that we are joined by Anjali ji from the Indian High Commission in Mauritius also, who will be also talking to us briefly. Welcome, Anjali ji.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We also have Mr. Vishwajit Chituji, officer in charge, Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius in Mumbai, Mr. Sivraj Nandalalji, who is the Council of Investment and Trade at the Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius. He's also heading Economic Development Board of Mauritius in Mumbai. We are also having Javed Ozaji. He's the president for the Indian Business Council Mozambique. Mr. Saurav Chatterjee, director and CEO, Care Ratings Africa Private Limited. Myself, Manpreet Singh, president of ICIB. Mr. Rohan Makhija, managing director of SDZ Impact. And Dr. Jitendra Joshi is the president of Global India Business Forum. Welcome all this afternoon. We are hoping to have a lovely session. We are hoping to have a lot of interactions with all of y'all. I request you all to please keep your mics on mute while the speakers are giving their views and their presentations. And after the presentation and the panel discussion, we will be throwing the floor open so that all of y'all can ask your questions, your queries about Mauritius, about Africa, about how the Indian missions can assist us, how the Mauritian missions can assist us, and the experience of the eminent speakers of Indian companies who are based in Mauritius since a while, and share the reality and the brighter side of life with us. Meanwhile, we are waiting for Vishwajit Chituji to sort out the technical issues with his audio. Please bear with us. In case any of you all get disconnected or there's shortage of space, we are live today on our YouTube channel also. You can go to YouTube, check out ICIB channel. We are live there. पूछो कौन है बोला मीटिंग में
We wish. Hello. We. Hello. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Manpreet ji.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Manpreet ji.
Hello, Ji.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I request everybody to please keep their mics on mute while the speakers are talking, presenting their views. We hope you will keep the decorum of the meeting.
Yeah. So, Manpreet, what I will do is Mr. Chitu is still facing the issue. So,
okay.
What I will do, he has shared his keynote address. So, I'll read it for him. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Meanwhile, I think let's make an official beginning.
Sure.
Welcome everybody today for today's session of doing business with Mauritius, with a special focus on opening the doors and the gateway to Africa. Today is a very innovative session that we have planned for you, and we have with us Mr. Vishwajit Chituji, who is the officer in charge, Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius in Mumbai, Mr. Sivraj Nandlalji, Consular Trade and Investment, Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius, and the Economic Development Board of Mauritius in Mumbai. We are also having with us a representative from the Indian High Commission in Mauritius, Anjali ji, who is the officer in charge. And we are joined by eminent panel of speakers today. Mr. Jevin Oza, he's the president of the Indian Business Council Mozambique, based in Mauritius. Mr. Saurav Chatterjee, the director and CEO of Care Ratings Africa Private Limited. Mr. Rohil, he is the managing director of SDZ Impex Limited. Dr. Jitendra Joshi, president Global India Business Forum, and myself, Manpreet Singh, president of ICIB. We have a very planned agenda today for all of y'all. We will be having the opening remarks and the opening keynote by Vishwajit Chituji. He's having some technical difficulties, so I request Sivraj Nandlalji from the Consulate of Mauritius to do the honors, followed by his presentation. And before that, we'll be having the comments from Aditi ji from the Indian High Commission Mauritius, followed by a panel discussion of all the speakers, a very interactive Q&A, where all of y'all participants will be able to ask the questions to our people and support systems in India and in Mauritius. We will also be taking questions on all your personal queries regarding your exports, imports, setting up businesses in Mauritius, trading with Mauritius, exporting to Mauritius, onwards to Africa. I would now like to welcome Shri Vishwajit Chituji for his opening remarks. I request Sivraj to please do the honors.
Okay, thank you, Manpreet ji. Mr. Chitu is here in the meeting, but unfortunately, he is facing some technical difficulty some technical issues with the mic. So we will not keep you waiting for long because time also is precious. So I will read his keynote speech on Mr. Chitu's behalf. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a very good afternoon to you all. I do hope you are all keeping safe during this unprecedented health crisis. I take this opportunity to heartily thank the Indian Chamber of International Business and its dynamic president, Mr. Manpreet Singh, for having graciously organized this webinar. So ladies and gentlemen, as the entire humanity continues to grapple with the pandemic, the prime priority for governments around the world has been to save lives. Moreover, the impact of this crisis on economic activities due to forced lockdown is unprecedented, with almost every country already on the brink of facing the undesired dire consequences and global economic contraction. Saving livelihoods and protecting jobs have also been key imperatives for governments. Opportunities emerge out of every crisis. We all know that, right? So similarly, the current situation has given rise to new opportunities with the support of new digital technologies. As the world has witnessed, the shift on digital platforms has enabled many sectors to continue business operations through work from home, or enable students to continue their learning and be connected with their schools and universities. There has been an acceleration of e-commerce activities. Healthcare has moved to telemedicine. So these are some of the few examples where we have seen these opportunities have emerged with the support of digital technologies. On the flip side, however, the supply chain disruption we have seen, it has brought on the surface the over-dependence by the majority of countries on a few strong supply nodes. This situation has resulted in almost every country reviewing their supply chain strategies and encouraging reshoring or nearshoring of their homegrown companies that operate in foreign countries. So ladies and gentlemen, our country, that is Mauritius, has also been negatively impacted by the pandemic. When the first COVID-19 positive cases appeared, government took immediate action, imposing a health curfew and closing borders. Moreover, the positive news is that Mauritius is now COVID-19 safe, as there has been no local transmission since more than 3 months now. All economic activities have resumed. Mauritius is open for business and is welcoming companies and investors to set up its shows. So ladies and gentlemen, Mauritius and India share a long history of friendship that has been strengthened over the years. At the recent joint inauguration of the new Supreme Court building in our country, the Honorable Prime Minister of both Mauritius and India stressed on the partnership between our countries. In his speech, the Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius highlighted that this partnership between Mauritius and India to develop the new Supreme Court building marks another momentous day in the relationship between India and Mauritius, while Honorable Prime Minister of India stated that Mauritius is at the heart of India's approach to development partnerships. India is a major development partner for Mauritius. Several projects have been developed in our country with the support of India, the landmark one being the metro project, which is being built by Larsen and Toubro. India has supported Mauritius in its fight against the pandemic by providing medicines. The partnership between the two countries transcends mere friendship and cultural exchanges, as Indian companies are actively participating in economic activities in Mauritius. Mauritius is an attractive investment, business, and trade destination. So ladies and gentlemen, Mauritius provides an unparalleled environment that is conducive for companies to invest, trade, and conduct business. As a trusted and reliable international financial center, Mauritius remains the preferred platform for investment in India by foreign companies. During the period April 2000 to March 2020, the cumulative foreign direct investment, that is FDI, from Mauritius to India has been in excess of $142 billion US, representing 30% of the total FDI that India has received during this period. So this shows the importance of Mauritius in contributing to the development of India in terms of an FDI contribution. Mauritius has also been an attractive destination for Indian companies who have invested and are successfully operating in Mauritius in various sectors that include financial services, banking and non-banking, manufacturing, healthcare, hospitality and tourism, telecommunications, ICT and digital technologies, film industry, freeport, logistics, and real estate, retail and distribution. In the post-COVID-19 budget 2020 and 2021 that the Honorable Minister of Finance read during the month of June, government has provided a further boost and announced a series of additional incentives, thereby making it more attractive and encouraging investors to set up projects in a safe and secure environment. Thus, Mauritius welcomes investment from India in the following sectors: pharmaceutical manufacturing, medical devices manufacturing, jewelry manufacturing, agro-industry, food processing, ICT and digital technologies, financial services, logistics, real estate and smart cities, healthcare, film industry, creative industry, and special economic zones development in Africa. India is a major trading partner for Mauritius. For the year 2019, Mauritius exports to India were 848 million Mauritian rupees, that is 157 crore Indian rupees, while the imports from India stood at 27.6 billion Mauritian rupees, that is more than 5,000 crore of Indian rupees. So we see that the trade is highly skewed in favor of India. The main products currently exported from Mauritius to India include medical devices, metal products, recyclable materials. And the main products that are imported from India to Mauritius include petroleum products, pharmaceutical products, machinery, food items, such as rice, grains, pulses, cereals, spices, and garments. Mauritius produces high quality products that are currently exported to markets such as the US, EU, Japan, China, Madagascar, South Africa, Reunion Island, which is next door to Mauritius. These products include special sugars, tea, fresh fruits such as pineapple, processed fruits, processed food, seafood products, canned tuna, sashimi grade tuna, rum, beer, garments, jewelry, etc. and etc. These products do have a significant market potential in India. Hence, it is an opportunity for Indian importers to consider sourcing these products from Mauritius for the Indian market. Mauritius and India have negotiated and finalized the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Partnership Agreement, and this agreement is awaiting signature. So what is the SECPA? The SECPA will provide opportunity for even greater trade and investment flows between our countries and is yet another instrument to further cement our relationship. Mauritius is also, in terms of the ease of doing business, Mauritius has very conducive in terms of doing business. So Mauritius is a safe, secure, and politically and economically stable democracy. Our country has been a favorite destination for foreign investors for the factors that I have mentioned above, but also because of the attractive and conducive investment and business environment that includes a favorable taxation policy, preferential market access, network of tax treaties, and equally the ease to do business. So improving the business environment has consistently been a top priority for government. Thus, in the global ranking of the World Bank Ease of Doing Business, Mauritius has progressed from 20th position to 13th position and is first in Africa for more than 15 years now. Mauritius is also a preferred platform of choice for business in Africa. So with its strategic location, Mauritius is an ideal gateway for companies to develop their business in Africa. Mauritius is a member of regional trading blocs, that is the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, and Southern African Development Community, SADC. So companies that have manufacturing operations in Mauritius and are exporting their
Siraji, you are on mute. Can you unmute yourself? You just went on mute. Yeah, you're back online.
Okay, it's okay now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so I'll just go a few lines behind. So Mauritius is also the preferred platform of choice for business in Africa. So with its strategic location, Mauritius is an ideal gateway for companies to develop their business in Africa. Mauritius is a member of regional trading blocs, that is a Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, and Southern African Development Community, SADC. Companies that have manufacturing operations in Mauritius are exporting. Companies that have manufacturing operations in Mauritius are exporting their made in Mauritius products to the COMESA and SADC regional markets, enjoy duty-free access to these markets, which represent a combined market potential of 600 million consumers, so nearly half the population of India. It is worthwhile mentioning that Africa is now moving towards a bigger single market through the continental free trade. Through the Continental Free Trade Agreement, that is the CFTA, which will provide a single platform for preferential market access to the 1.2 billion population of Africa. So equally the same size as India. So the CFTA will provide duty-free access to a similar market potential like India. And this is a major advantage for companies that produce their goods locally. It is worth highlighting that made in Mauritius products also benefit from duty-free market access to the USA, European Union, Turkey, and also to China. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I strongly encourage you to consider investing in Mauritius and take advantage of the various benefits offered. Thank you for your attention. So this was from Mr. Chitu. On behalf of Mr. Chitu, I read it. So now I will, am I good to go for the presentation, Mr.
Thank you so much, Sivrajji. I'll take a few minutes break, and I would like to invite Anjali Jalota ji, who's from the Indian High Commission in Mauritius. Anjali ji, can we please have your comments and a brief note on behalf of the High Commission of India? And post that, Sivrajji, we can go on to your presentation. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly fine.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Anjali ji.
Yeah, thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for having the High Commission of India in this webinar. I represent the commercial section at the High Commission of India in Mauritius. We are here to assist the Indian exporters if they want to invest in Mauritius. As a commercial representative, we prepare the monthly economic and commercial reports that are being circulated to the Department of Commerce and Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Then we handle all the trade inquiries by the Indian exporters. We have a database of Mauritian companies over here sector-wise. So we mail them a soft copy of interest to the Indian exporters. Then we circulate all the local tenders to the Indian Chambers of Commerce and Ministry of Commerce. Then we also prepare specific topical reports, and we undertake basic research work, compile and analyze trade data, trade briefs, bilateral as well as Mauritian and other countries. And we prepare the first drafts. We give all the inputs to the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India for any topical reports like inputs on SECPA or Special Economic Zones of Mauritius, or any sectors like textile, sugar, anything to be sent to the Ministry of Commerce or any Indian Export Promotion Councils if needed. Then we assist the Indian PSUs and Indian private companies in doing business in Mauritius over here, including, whenever they face any problems, they can come to the Indian Embassy and we can always facilitate them. Then we promote Indian tourism in Mauritius. Then we assist events in Mauritius by the Indian government organizations like in the past, ChemExcel, PharmExcel, or other CII, FICCI. They mobilize business delegations over here, then we assist them. And then we organize events for promotion of trade and investment ties. We commission local studies about the local market, any particular market like renewable energy, energy efficiency, airport, anything under the sun in Mauritius. Then we liaise with the local businesses and chambers of commerce and industry. We liaise with the key government of Mauritius authorities dealing with commercial and business activities, including the Bank of Mauritius, Economic Development Board, Joint Business Mauritius, etc. And we assist in facilitating meetings of Indian stakeholders, including those from Government of India with officials in Government of Mauritius and other authorities. So it's basically, we are sitting here for the Indian exporters, anything and everything we can help them in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's so much information in so little time. I would say it'll take a while for, I think, all of the members here to process this much of information and the kind of support that our High Commission is offering to all the exporters and the Indian citizens. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sivrajji, coming back to you, in the note of our officer in charge from the High Commission, Vishwajit, I think two of the points that really struck out were rum and beer. I think that must have really struck a note amongst all the people who are attending.
Okay.
On a lighter note, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, can we move on to your presentation? Sivrajji, I would like to reintroduce you. Sivrajji is a very good and old friend of the Indian Chamber of International Business. We've been working together since a while now to promote Mauritius in India and India in Mauritius and for bilateral relations. He's the Counselor for Investment and Trade at the Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius in Mumbai. and he is the head of Cluster Economic Development Board of Mauritius. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Manpreetji. So let me start sharing my screen. I hope I can. Where is it? Oh. Is it visible? Okay, now share. Is it visible now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, it's visible now. It's visible now.
Okay, okay. So, right, okay. You let me know as I go whether I'm flipping over the slide, so still some issues, right? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you all to this webinar on doing business with Mauritius, and I would also like to take this opportunity, just like my colleague, officer in charge, Mr. Chitu, to thank the Indian Chamber of International Business, and in particular, Mr. Manpreet. So he has been very helpful and supportive each time we have requested for some support in terms of how to develop the business and the partnership, economic partnership between Mauritius and India. So thank you, Manpreetji. So in my presentation, I will take you in terms of what Mauritius has to offer as an investment destination, of course. And also, rightly mentioned by Manpreetji, that there are products that Indian companies, Indian important houses, they can look at importing these products from Mauritius as well. So here, I'll just give you a brief glance about Mauritius. Manpreetji, just tell me, can you see this slide?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, good. So this here we speak about Mauritius in terms of what it is. Population-wise, we are bigger than India. No, this is just a joke. In fact, we are a small population of 1.3 million, 1,000 times smaller in terms of population size than India. But what is very important is that, as Mr. Chitu mentioned in his speech earlier, that is, we have a huge market potential in terms of the duty-free market access that covers in the region that is Eastern and Southern Africa, that covers nearly 600 million consumers. But as I will go along the slides, I will show you that we are also covering other markets which are again accessible through the duty-free market access. So in Mauritius, we speak English and English and French official languages, but there are also Asian languages like Hindi, Bhojpuri, Tamil, because 70% of the population of Mauritius is of Indian origin. So we do speak a third language, which is from India. And if you're in Mauritius, you will feel like you are in one part of India, because you can listen to the Indian Hindi music. You can watch Hindi movies, Bollywood, Tamil movies, what you want, Bhojpuri movies, and even the food that you get. There is a slight variation, but still you get the food like the dal roti. If you're looking for dal chawal or roti sabzi, you will find it in Mauritius. The GDP per capita is $10,000 US, and in fact, recently the World Bank has elevated Mauritius in the rank of high-income economies. So classified by the World Bank as a high-income economy. We have bilateral agreements in terms of taxation agreements, or even in terms of investment protection agreements. The land mass of the country is only 2,000 square kilometers. That will be probably one small city in one small part but we do have a huge sea area, which covers nearly 2.3 million square kilometers. So the exclusive economic zone is 2.3 million square kilometers, and that belongs to Mauritius. So huge resources which are available in Mauritius. So sorry, so which are the sectors, which are the main sectors of the Mauritian economy? So when we look at how Mauritius has developed, of course, when we became independent 50 years back, so we were a monocrop economy, hugely dependent on agriculture, that also on sugarcane cultivation and sugar production, not sugar production, but rather sugarcane cultivation. And as we developed over the years after independence, so we have diversified the economy. So today we are a very well diversified economy with many areas for economic activities. So here you will see that manufacturing is a major contributor to the economy with 12.3%. We have financial services, we have tourism and the ocean economy, real estate, ICT and BPO. But we do have other sectors, for example, the film industry. A lot of Bollywood, or even from the southern part of India, a lot of movies are being produced by the Indian producers in Mauritius because of the very, I would say, attractive film rebate scheme that we have. And other sectors that also we are promoting in Mauritius includes healthcare, education, logistics, distribution, and regional trade. So yeah. So why we are telling you to come to Mauritius? Mauritius, so if you look at this slide, you will see that we position it in terms of three major pillars. First of all, in terms of the business environment, it is very conducive and very attractive, as was also pointed out previously by Mr. Chitu. There is a very robust infrastructure. We have very good infrastructure, and also the sectoral advantages in Mauritius, which are competitive. I will go over those advantages in detail in the next few slides. So in terms of the conducive business environment, what is a major advantage of Mauritius? Of course, I mean, any company that comes any investor that is looking to invest in a jurisdiction, they look at what is a corporate, or rather the taxation policy of the country. So in Mauritius, we have a very transparent and a very, I would say, simple taxation system, which is a corporate tax rate of 15%, that is 15% across the board, which means that any company that is setting up in Mauritius will pay a corporate tax of 15% on profits, of course. We also do have a value-added tax, that is VAT, again, which is at 15%. And then we have value-added tax and corporate, individual income tax, that is also at 15%. So as I said, it's a very simple taxation system. So 15% across the board. However, to encourage certain industries to develop and the priority sectors where Mauritius government is also placing a lot of emphasis. So we have provided some additional benefits in terms of the taxation rate. So for companies which are manufacturing in Mauritius and are exporting their products, so these companies benefit from a reduced corporate tax rate of 3%. And certain new emerging sectors that we are promoting and we are encouraging companies to set up, those sectors, there will be a tax holiday. So I will come in detail with these few sectors later. There is no capital gains tax, very important. So if you have, your capital is appreciating, if your assets are appreciating, there is no capital gains tax. Partial exemption regimes, that this is for the financial services companies, so the global business companies which are deriving income from outside Mauritius. So there is a partial exemption regime of up to 80%. We have a tax treaty network with, as I mentioned earlier, bilingual, qualified and multi-skilled workforce, but we do need more, I would say, foreign talent and even foreign labor to come and support our development in Mauritius. How easy we make it for companies to set up. So you can see that incorporating a company is a simple process. You have to submit your, I would say, your documents to the Register of Companies, and within 2 hours, your company is incorporated. So that's how fast we can be. So there is no restriction on ownership. You can come with 100% foreign shareholding and free movement of capital. There is no exchange control as well. So there are certain initiatives that government has taken in terms of the ease of doing business, as was mentioned earlier by Mr. Chitu. So, I mean, in terms of the initiative that we have taken now, so there are a lot of processes that we have.
Sivraji, can you hear us? Hello. Shivraji is stuck, I think maybe due to technical reason. 1 second. Shivraji, I think he's got disconnected. 1 second. Let's just give him a minute. So, these are the things that we have in the days of online. Meanwhile, I see Arunachalamji here. Hello, sir. Welcome from IOC Cable, Mauritius. I think while we wait for him, we can have an interaction with Anjali ji. Anjali ji, are you around?
Yeah.
Can you brief us a little about the business center that is being managed by the Indian High Commission?
Yeah, the business sector, as I told you, we prepare the commercial and economic reports. We circulate it to the Indian Chambers of Commerce and the Indian Ministry of Commerce and External Affairs. We handle the trade-related inquiries like Indian exporters. They are looking for Mauritian importers sector-wise in any sector, pharmaceuticals, gift and handicrafts, spices. So we mail them. We have a database of local companies over here, prominent ones. And then, we send them the soft copy of the contact details of the Mauritian companies, and then the Indian people can business networking, they can do it themselves. Our
Right.
point is we do not endorse any companies. It's just that we just send them the list.
Got it. So I have one question. I get asked this a lot. Mauritius, everybody says, oh, it's a very small country. Do you think there is enough exports that is possible to Mauritius? So I explained to them that, like topic of today's session, that it's a gateway to Africa. What would be your take on that? As in, is Mauritius really small for an Indian export destination?
Yeah, people say that Mauritius is has a limited market, but it is the population of just 1.2 million. It is has a limited market, but Mauritius has agreements. It is a member of the COMESA. It's SADC market, and it gives market access to, as it is a member of COMESA and SADC, it gives market access to 36 African countries of Eastern and Southern Africa. So if Indian investors use Mauritius to have access to the African trade groupings, they can have access to 36 African countries. So it's not that, the population is small, 1.2 million, so it is a limited market. No. Then it has access to the EU and the AGOA market as well. So, and it has also signed, the government of Mauritius has also signed special economic zones. They have developed like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Madagascar. So
Perfect.
if the Indian investor is going through using Mauritius as a springboard to invest into these African countries, it has a lot of taxes, and the Indian exporters can avail a lot of taxes and incentives, like there will be no custom and tariff. I mean, there are a lot of, there is a Mauritius Africa Fund set up over here. So Indian investors can directly approach the Mauritius Africa Fund, and they'll have access to a lot of African market. They can capture a humongous market. It's not that it's limited due to population.
I think Shivrajji's presentation is just coming to that. He's just come online, and ease of doing business is just starting in his presentation, I see. Thank you, Anjali ji. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll be coming back to you. Shivrajji, are you back online?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Thank you. I don't know. I lost connection suddenly. So yeah.
Ways of the new world.
Yeah, true. And thank you, Anjali ji, for taking over. And I just heard you about the market access. So yeah, that's true.
Thank you.
So yeah. So in terms of, I was mentioning about the, so I'll go in terms of the ease of doing business. So the initiatives that government has taken. So we have moved on digital platforms in terms of companies registration, work permit system, work permit application, occupation permit application. Even in terms of construction related permits, that has also moved online with the utilities. Cross-border trade, which is again very important. I just heard about the market access and all that. So there is a single window now for import and export. There is a cargo community system, the customs management system again, which is digital online. So declaration of goods again is done online. So in terms of the system for collection of taxes, later I'll explain when I'll come to the indices, you will see that how Mauritius is very, I would say, attractive. So in terms of the collection of taxes, now it is e-filing. So you don't have to submit documents, you just have to submit your return online, and that's it. So it's a very conducive area, conducive environment to whether to do business and to invest, right? So now we have a national electronic licensing system for the company setting up. It is a single point of entry. Payment facilities are now online. There is an e-certificate when you're setting up your company, incorporating your company. Basically, just like when we are born, we have a birth certificate. Similarly, for when you're setting up your company, you need to have the certificate of incorporation. Same thing. So here you will see that I mentioned, we mentioned about the ease of doing business. So now in terms of the ranking, we are 13th position out of 190 countries. The Mo Ibrahim Index of Good Governance, again, we are first in Africa in that index also. Economic freedom, we are 8th out of 162 countries, but first in Africa. So I mentioned about the taxation system, how it is, that is, you just have to submit your application online. So it is in terms of the efficiency index for tax filing, we are 6th globally. So that was about the business environment, conducive business environment. Now let's look at the infrastructure. So here you will see the telecommunications infrastructure is a very, very robust infrastructure again. So we are connected for telecommunications via fiber optic undersea cables. And we also do have redundant capacity as well. So in the port, in terms of the port infrastructure, so we do have a very modern port today. So which is we do have a container port. We just have one seaport because of the size of the island. So we do have a container port, and we are continuing to develop more and more in terms of deepening the port, so that will allow bigger vessels to come to the port and to service the region. So these are the new expansion activities taking place at the port. Some of them have already been completed, but the rest is being undertaken. In terms of air connectivity, you will see that we are connected to the rest of the world from Mauritius. And in India, we're connected in 4 cities, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Bangalore. And in these cities, we are connected almost daily, almost every day per week. New developments that are going to happen at the port, at the airport. So there is going to be an air cargo hub that will allow for the I would say, air freight activities to increase, and at the same time, for companies that require air transportation system, they can set up their manufacturing units in the airport area, and then they do their production and export from there. So I'll take a few examples, because since we are focusing on manufacturing here, so I'll take a few examples and explain to you about the manufacturing sector. So as I mentioned earlier, that is, the sector contributes 12.3% to the economy. So here you can see some of the verticals in the manufacturing sector. Here you will see we have food processing, textiles and apparel, seafood, sugar, beer. We mentioned beer, wine, and spirits, and all that. So some of the key opportunities, these are traditional sectors because they have been there for many years. In fact, when we became independent, it was a monocrop economy. Then we diversified with sugar production, and then diversified further into manufacturing, textile and apparel, then food processing, and rum and spirits and all that. So these are some of the opportunities that you can see. If anybody is interested, for example, to come and set up a food processing plant in Mauritius, so more than welcome. Here we are giving an 8-year tax holiday for companies that come to set up a food processing plant. So the textile and apparel industry, this has been a major industry in the development of our country. So we started with almost nothing, I would say 50 years back. But today we have been a major player in the textile and apparel market in the world, because we export to major markets such as the US, European Union, South Africa, and other markets as well. So, and now from here, now we are moving, because we started with basic textile production, and then we moved into the, I would say, into the vertical integration. Now we're into design, fashion, and now we are diversifying further into the technical textile aspects. And this is where I think the future lies today. So what are the opportunities? Spinning mills, just to give you an example, in terms of spinning mills, there is a Chinese operator which is based in Mauritius, started with one spinning unit in Mauritius, expanded. And then because we do not have, because of the land size, we don't grow the raw material that is cotton. So what this company did, they went to cultivate cotton in Madagascar. So from Madagascar, now they're getting the cotton. Madagascar is just 1.5 hours flight away from Mauritius. So they are bringing the cotton to Mauritius, doing all the ginning and the spinning into yarn, and then supplying not only the local industry, exporting to Africa, but also exporting to China. So there is a huge opportunity for looking into spinning industry in Mauritius. Fashion designing, as I mentioned. So if somebody wants to partner with existing companies, that is also possible. Technical textiles. So why we tell you to come and look at Mauritius in terms of these vertical. So as I mentioned earlier, so if you're exporting your products, so you only pay 3% tax on their profits. There is an extension in terms of the investment tax credit up to 15% for all manufacturing companies. There is a freight rebate scheme that is very important. The freight rebate scheme, which is very important, I'll come to that later. And we do have the trade promotion marketing scheme that also will come to it later. Tax-free dividends. So if you are distributing dividends, it's tax-free. As I mentioned, there is no restriction on ownership, no exchange control, free repatriation of profits, no minimum capital required, and there is capital and annual allowances for investment. Yeah. So the seafood industry, similarly, so there are opportunities for processing because we're surrounded by water. So we do have a few tuna canning plants in Mauritius. They are bringing the tuna to Mauritius and then processing it, either canning or exporting it as sashimi grade tuna to Japan, for example. And most of our canned tuna is exported to European Union, mostly to UK. So cold storage facilities, fish feed is another area where companies can look into coming and setting up in Mauritius. Agro industry. This is, excuse me. So we have seen that with the pandemic, we have seen the difficulties that came because of the disruption in supply chain. So government has decided through the recent budget to give a lot of emphasis on growing crop cultivation of crops, food crops, vegetable crops, everything, and also doing processing in Mauritius. So there is an opportunity for companies who are into food processing to come to take this opportunity to come to Mauritius and set up their production processes for food in Mauritius. And here, as I mentioned, that is, we are also giving a tax holiday, tax break of 8 years for companies that set up in Mauritius. For existing companies, they are benefiting from a 3% corporate tax on their exports, but for new companies, there will be an 8-year tax holiday. So from there now, we are shifting to a new area, which is emerging sectors. So this shows you the path that the industry has taken in Mauritius over the last 15 years. So now we are shifting to a I would say, new level in terms of high value added manufacturing, or high-tech manufacturing, as we call it. And you will see that which are the opportunities that Mauritius is offering today. So pharmaceutical, medical devices manufacturing. To mention it in his speech. So pharmaceutical manufacturing, again, government is providing a lot of, putting a lot of emphasis in these industries, and also providing additional incentives. For example, for these new high-tech activities, is going to be an 8-year tax holiday. There is going to be investment tax credit. There is going to be also a freight rebate scheme, as I mentioned earlier. So pharmaceutical devices, pharmaceutical and manufacturing, medical devices, automotives, OEMs, assembly, repair and maintenance, recycling, high precision components, technical textile, electronics, and also jewelry and manufacturing, jewelry and watchmaking. Yeah, so here you can see the incentives which are being provided. So mentioned to you, 8-year tax holiday for pharmaceutical, for medical devices, for high-tech products, which includes electronics, high precision components, optical products, OEMs, technical textiles. There is an investment tax credit. If you're not getting the 8-year tax holiday, then you will get the investment tax credit of 15%. This is going to be for a period of 3 years. And very important, you can acquire land or property in Mauritius for your project, for your business. And during this period, you're not going to pay any registration duty, and there is no land transfer tax that you have to pay if you're doing one of these activities in high-tech manufacturing activities in Mauritius. There is an exemption also provided if you have to pay land conversion tax. For example, let us say if you're buying land which is agricultural, but which has the potential to be converted into industrial, for your industrial purpose. So you will be exempted from the payment of the land conversion for that matter. Accelerated depreciation on machinery, double deduction if you qualify for R&D. So there is no import duty. Very important is that if you are importing your equipment, your machinery, your raw materials to Mauritius, you do not have to pay any single import duty on these raw materials, equipment, and machinery. And for exporting companies which do not benefit from the 8-year tax holiday, they're going to benefit from a reduced 3% corporate tax. There is no export duties in Mauritius. VAT on the raw materials that you pay at imports, it's going to be refunded to you. And the refund mechanism is very, I would say, very fast. Within 3 weeks after you submit your returns, your request for refund, you are refunded with the VAT amount that you are entitled to. There is a trade promotion and marketing scheme that allows a refund of up to 40% on air freight cost with regards to export to certain markets. You have Europe, USA, Africa, Japan, Australia, Canada, and the Middle East. So which are the products which are eligible for this refund? You have medical devices, jewelry, and watches. And then we have also the freight rebate scheme that is for seagoing cargo. So for seagoing cargo, we are offering a refund of 25% rather on the basic freight cost, which is up to $300 if it is a 20-feet container, or it is up to $600 if it is a 40-feet container. And the ports which are eligible are ports in 19 countries in Africa, which include 47 ports in total. So just to give you a quick overview of the pharmaceutical industry in Mauritius, currently we have just one company that also is from India, Ajanta Pharma. And you will see that in terms of, so in terms of the ecosystem now, the ecosystem is there. So we do have clinical research companies, laboratories which are there, and the institutes are there, the education for the training of the manpower, the skills set required which are there. So now we are coming forward and fast forward with the pharmaceutical industry, and I will show you that we also have now the infrastructure readily available if somebody wants to come and develop a pharmaceutical unit in Mauritius. So similarly for the medical devices sector, so now we are producing medical devices, and here you will see that over the years we have been consistently increasing in terms of the export. The export figures have been going up. And the main products which are being exported today are catheters, stents, cardiovascular, oncology implants, and so on. And here, very interestingly, you will see that for medical devices, we are exporting nearly 1/3 of the production of Mauritius is exported to India. So there is a huge opportunity if companies are looking to come to Mauritius, set up medical devices manufacturing. It's not only for, of course, not only for the Indian market, but also, as you can see that France takes the major share with 60%, nearly 60% of the market. So the duty-free market access, which is there. And which is very important also to understand is the ecosystem in terms of, because medical devices, you have to be very strict in terms of your norm standards. And we do have all those ecosystem in place in Mauritius that allows you to produce according to the EU market or to the US market or even to the other markets requirements. Sorry, oops, that was too quick. Yeah. So as I mentioned, we're exporting to India, and some of the products which I mentioned here, catheters, cannulae, instruments, and all those. The jewelry sector, similarly, which is a very important sector, and here you will see that we are exporting more than 60% to Vietnam. And some of it are also going to the European countries. So there is an opportunity also to come and set up in Mauritius in terms of the jewelry sector. And these are the clients that you can see LVMH now. Tiffany is there, but Tiffany we know is taken over by LVMH, Charlotte, Chenet, Leo, Sashta, and all those companies, major brands which procure their jewelry from Mauritius. So the incentives which are provided are similarly, as I mentioned earlier. So there is exemption for gold, which is interesting. That is, there is an exemption on the VAT. And also, where is it? Yeah. So there is no custom duty on jewelry. VAT exemption on the sale of gold by the Bank of Mauritius, and VAT exemption also on the 3D printing technologies. So, yeah. So now, why Mauritius? Again, we have spoken to you about the ecosystem, the environment, whether it is about infrastructure, the business environment. But now, what about the market? Here, as I mentioned to you earlier, that is, as I briefly mentioned about the regional market of Africa, COMESA and SADC. But here you can see that it is not only the 600 million consumers that I mentioned to you, the regional market, but at the same time, we have the European Union in terms of duty-free access. We have the United States, US in terms again of duty-free access. We have concluded or signed a free trade agreement with China. So that is also duty-free market access. We have one with Turkey. And we have already concluded, as was mentioned by Mr. Chitu again, we have already concluded the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement with India. It has already been concluded. Now it is awaiting signature. So once it is signed, it will allow companies to increase their business between the two countries bilaterally, because there are many products that will be allowed duty-free between the two countries, whether you want to export, whether you want to import from Mauritius to India. So some products will be available duty-free on that and that route, and also whether you want to export from India to Mauritius. So that also will be available. So as you see, that is the market access, current market access in terms of the duty-free market access I'm speaking about is more than 1/4 of the world population. Now, after India is included through the SECPA, after India gets included into that, so you can imagine we are already covering nearly 50% of the world population in terms of duty-free market access. So as I mentioned, so more than 1/4 of the population, of the world population, we have duty-free market access. We are second largest wool mark knitwear supplier in the world, leading home for private equipment in Africa, and we rank third in terms of the supply of canned tuna to the European Union. So this is the African market. You can see some of the markets, the major markets. South Africa represents over 50%. We have Madagascar, we have Seychelles, Kenya, and the other countries. So which are the products that are being produced? Some of the products are not only, I mean, just a few. So we are producing PET preforms, that is plastic bottles, which are used for bottling of soft drinks or even water. So these are being produced in Mauritius and exported to the region. And this is an Indian-based company that has set up their operation in Mauritius. Automotive air filters exported to South Africa. Flexible packaging, again, exported to the region. Optical fiber, again, from India and UK companies which have set up and they are operating and setting and exporting to the region. So which are the products? I mean, there are so many products, but just to give you a brief listing here. So textile and apparel, seafood, sugar, processed food, rum and spirits, exotic fruits, light engineering, medical devices, animal feed, printing and publishing, paints and chemicals, jewelry. So these are the products which have a potential for a market in India. And today our total market, our total domestic exports for last year represented for more than $1.4 billion. The key markets having been UK, France, USA, South Africa, Italy, and of course we would like to add India to it with all your support that you can provide. So we have not been spared by the pandemic that is currently, the world is facing. So we were also affected, we were also impacted by it. But happy to say that now we are COVID-19 safe. So during the period when the pandemic was there, when the pandemic hit Mauritius, government took immediate steps to support the population, lives, and to protect lives and also to support livelihoods. To support the population in terms of a wage employment assistance schemes, and also support the companies as well. And what is good is that we have seen that during every crisis, new opportunities emerge. And this is where we have seen that even our own factories, for example, textile and apparel factories that have been traditionally producing garments for fashion, now they have shifted their operations into PPE kits, that is personal protection equipment. So, and they're exporting to regions, to countries like France, South Africa, and other places as well. Similarly, companies that have been producing alcoholic beverages and spirits, now they have started producing sanitizers for the local market, but also for the export market. And there has been a huge shift in terms of consumer shift, in terms of increase in online shopping. Manufacturing industries now have become flexible solutions, have come up with flexible solutions to meet the supply chain demand. Agricultural sector has been given a further boost to the recent budget, and there is more automated digital transformation happening. So how do you set up a manufacturing unit in Mauritius? Very simple. So we have certain stages which are involved. So you have to submit your business plan to the Economic Development Board. After that, incorporate the company, set up the company, identify your industrial premises where you want to set up. And later I will show you in the slides. I mean, Mauritius, and the whole of Mauritius is like an industrial, I would say, zone. So you can set up anywhere. And then if you require meetings, then the EDB will facilitate the meetings for you. If you require environmental clearances and all the permits that go along. So the Economic Development Board will act as your single point of contact and also as a facilitator for implementing your project. So these are some of the premises, in the industrial premises. So you can see in the north, in the southeast, in the central part of the island, even in the northwest. So anywhere on the island, you can set up your manufacturing unit. So I mentioned about the pharmaceutical and life sciences, I mean the medical devices sector. So we have set up a pharmaceutical and life sciences park at Rosebell, which is around 10 minutes away from the airport. It's in the southeast of the island. So this is service land. So if anyone among you is interested to look at setting up one of these activities, more than welcome. We will be very happy to hear from you. So here are some of the costs, and in terms of how you can do the business. I mean, this is very, I would say we can take it up later if you wish. We have training schemes. So in terms of all the ecosystems that we have, these are very important. So we do have training scheme facilities available for training your people, your staff, employees, and all that. And now, since with the new budget, so there have been major changes in terms of work and leave permits. So as an investor, when you come in, you will get an occupation permit as investor. So of course, you have to apply for that permit. And when you apply for that permit, then there are certain criteria which have to be fulfilled. So previously, I would say up till the 2nd of September 2020, the investment amount is $100,000. But now with the new Finance Act that has already been voted, it will become effective as from the 2nd of September. So now it has been reduced from $100,000 to $50,000. So we have reduced it by half. Even if you need to bring professionals to come and work in Mauritius, so the basic monthly salary previously was $2,000. Now we have reduced it to $1,500. If somebody is coming for certain sectors like ICT, manufacturing, or food processing, it is further reduced to $750. This is the salary that you have to pay the employees, So you can also acquire property. Now we do have a permanent residence permit a possibility which is available. It is for a period of 10 years. But now we have changed it from 10 years, we have increased it for 20 years. So now if you intend to apply for a permanent residence permit, you can apply and you will get it for 20 years. And to be eligible for this, the minimum investment used to be $500,000 US, that is $500,000 US. Now we have reduced it to $375,000 US. So I've been speaking about all the ecosystem, the economy of Mauritius, the landscape, I would say the manufacturing environment and everything. So you will need somebody to help you in all these, in this journey. So who is going to do that for you is the Economic Development Board. So the Economic Development Board it operates under the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Development. It has 4 core mandates, which is strategic economic planning, trade and investment promotion, country branding, and business facilitation. So we are here to speak to you about the trade and investment promotion, and also how to help you in terms of the business facilitation. So your one single point of contact when you're investing in Mauritius is the Economic Development Board. And we do have offices globally now. So I am here based in Mumbai, and I would like to thank you all for your patience and kind attention. I think I have been a little bit longer than expected, but I think it was worth it for all of you to get the information. And here you have my details if anybody wants to get in touch with me. Anyway, I will leave this presentation to be shared with the participants later. So thank you, Manpreet.
Sivrajji, thank you so much. For everyone, we'll be sharing the presentation with all the people who have put their contact details in the chat box. So please be checking that and ensure that it doesn't go to your spams. So it's going to be coming from the official mail ID of ICIB. Our High Commission and the High Commission of Mauritius is more than happy to welcome all of you all into Mauritius and help you with any support it is needed. In fact, even our chamber will be more than happy to. There's a little information about ICIB that I would like to share. We are a chamber that's not very old. It's about 14 years old. We are based in about 8 cities across India and having a presence of about 38 countries across the world. So we are spread across most of the continents other than, of course, Antarctica and the Arctic Circle. We are there in South America, North America, South Asia, Australia, Europe, of course, Asia, of course, and Africa, no doubt. So any kind of support needed from anywhere, we'll be more than happy to help. We have a membership base of about 2,800 odd members that's spread throughout the country. We are having people who are from the sectors from like defense and aerospace, and we also have retailers and kirana shop owners. So if I may say so, Sui se leke rocket tak is there in our membership base. So for all you know, you might find your next business partner within the chamber itself. We'll be more than happy to support any one of them. Sivaraj, thank you so much. It's been such an enlightening presentation. In fact, I like to highlight 2 years back, Honorable President Pravin Jagannath was in Mumbai, and I had the opportunity of meeting him personally and discussing most of the issues that you talked about. Surprisingly, being the Prime Minister, he was so down to earth. He was so open to even the smallest investments coming from India. It was really great to know his thoughts also, and it was my pleasure to definitely meet him there. In fact, you mentioned regarding the trade opportunities that are there in Mauritius, especially with the free trade zones and the zones that are created, the preferential tariffs that are there, including the Indian Ocean Rim Association, which is one of the largest one, I believe. These are the things that people do not know, as in exporters, importers. The free trade agreements are something that we should really highlight upon, and people are not aware of that. Like making Mauritius your base, maybe you can export to 100 countries duty free. So this is something that people should keep in mind when they plan their export strategies, when they plan their expansion strategies, when they're growing abroad. I know of a small, I have a habit of talking with examples. So one of the example that I want to talk about has been a small kirana shop owner. He had a very small shop in Delhi. He used to retail like any other grocery store. And I asked him that, why are you a member of a chamber, something that is like Indian Chamber of International Business? I mean, what benefit have you got, or will you get out of it? So to my surprise, he told me that, he attended one of our meetings, and he found a company from, I think, Malaysia, yes, which was doing food items, and they were one of the largest exporters of food products from Malaysia. So he said, I asked them, will you be able to sell 2 cartons to me? And they said yes. And, he imported 2 cartons of, I think, some edible items. I don't really remember what it was. So he took up these 2 cartons. He sold it within no time. He came to us and he said, can you introduce properly, and we would like to take up distributorship of our area and supply, say, 5-10 shops. I ended up laughing and I said, I don't think this company would be interested. So they said no. So the only question that the Malaysian company asked us was, do you think he's a reliable partner? I said, of course, yes. Otherwise he would have not come to us for that. He sold in a matter of 6 months about 3 containers. Can you believe that? A small shop owner sold 3 containers. His son today is the largest distributor in North India of this company. So that is the kind of opportunities that you get. And, we are shy that, oh, it's such a big company. We don't know whether they're going to supply to us. We don't know whether they will partner with us. We have to remember that everybody has started small. You never know who might be able to help you, who might be able to become your business partner. And I think this is something that we all as business people should keep in mind, especially in today's scenario when it comes to COVID. There are a lot of disruptions happening. Large businesses have gone bankrupt, small have definitely closed down, many of them. Most of them are looking at diversifications. So never look at something as too small or too big, always ask and maybe you would get it. So these are my 2 cents, and Mauritius is definitely something, don't consider it small. It's your access to not only Africa, but to the rest of the world. Thank you, Sivaraji. I would like to now move on to our panelists. They are a lot of eminent panelists are here today who are going to be talking about their experience of Mauritius, how they have benefited and from access to Mauritius, and how they have been growing, being there, and with the benefits of Africa, the connections from India. So we have today with us Mr. Jevin Oza. He's the president of the Indian Business Council of Mozambique. Not only that, his 45 years in experience in companies dealing in international trade, 100% EOUs, electronic product assembly lines, plastic processing units, paper and stationery trading companies, publishing, printing, packaging, you name it, been there, done that. In most of the 45 years of experience, his technology and services have been mostly related to the paper industry. In Mozambique, he has been representing the Indian diaspora and Indian industry, and he's got interest in Madagascar, and he's been in Mauritius since a while. So welcome, sir. Welcome, Jevinji. So can I have you around? Jevinji, are you around? I think he must have got disconnected. So we'll wait for him. Next participant we have is Mr. Saurav Chatterjee. Sauravji is the Director and CEO of Care Ratings Africa Private Limited. For those who don't know about Care, I think that's something that I need to highlight. I would like to call it as an Indian multinational, if I may say so. So Sauravji is that's a premium rating agency of Mauritius. It has a credit professional. He's a credit professional with over 12 years of experience in the credit rating industry. He's associated with Care for the major part of his career, with a stint in corporate banking, operations at Standard Chartered, in addition to being the sector head for power and mining metals sector of Care. He's been instrumental in rating corporates, banks, FIIs. He's been a member of the internal rating committee of Care for quite some time now. Various roles and responsibilities also has been made him a trainer and a mentor for young professionals, not only within the industry, but also professional students across various professional institutes like ICIB and many other B schools. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So first of all, good afternoon, and I would like to thank Mr. Sivraj Nandalal for the fantastic presentation and giving a very great insight about what Mauritius is and what EDB is, Economic Development Board is, and what are the benefits that is there in terms of if somebody wants to do business in Mauritius. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the fantastic presentation. I think it's a very apt one. Secondly, before I start, I would like to thank the entire the team and the Mauritius government and the consulate and everybody, the job that they have done in controlling the COVID-19 pandemic, because those who are in India, they can't understand the kind of life we are having here. In fact, Mr. Sivraj Nandalalji also, I think he is stuck in Bombay. But I think post from 15th of May, the situation is completely, or from 1st of June, I would say, the situation is completely normal in Mauritius. Most of the business are back on track. People are doing business. The malls are doing business. That itself shows how the government controlled it and let the people come back into business. The hotel sector, which Nandalalji said is 10–11% of the GDP. The government took a bit of a risk, and they are playing between whether to open the international borders or to keep it closed. But then they have supported the industry a great way. A lot of support has been given in terms of wage assistance scheme, in terms of providing liquidity and all. So while, yes, there are some concerns for the hotel industry, but then the hotels, few of the hotels have opened up for the Mauritian citizens also. So in terms of doing business, if I have to look into it, I would say that Mauritius is currently even under COVID, or as such is a great place to be in. Whatever factors Mr. Nandalalji, he has taken over, I don't want to get into that. But I think I would like to highlight also before I start, I won't get into what Care Ratings is. I would like to share my experience, what has been there. I have been 4 years in Mauritius without having any experience in setting up any company. I've been working in Calcutta actually for Care Ratings. I have been there. I'm based out of Calcutta. So I've been working there for 12 years for Care Ratings till 2016 before I moved to Mauritius. And I was totally in the rating team actually. So when I was sent here, I didn't have any experience, any hands-on experience. After coming to Mauritius, I have never faced any problem. In fact, I have heard a lot of problems like you can't take people, you can't take Indian origin people in your company. There are a lot of problems EDB create or the MRA create. But one thing I have faced I haven't faced in the 4 years, any kind of challenge in doing the business. We are a regulated business. FSC, the Financial Services Commission, regulates our business. The Bank of Mauritius has given us the recognition. So I have to interact with both this regulator, and they have been very, very conducive, and they have been very, they are very approachable, and they have always been on the helping end. Second part is that the Economic Development Board, I have got my, first, when I came here, I got my occupational permit. Very standard screening process. They have the things cleared out. So you can get whatever is required. Once you tick the boxes and you go to them, immediately it can be done. I got my occupation permit renewed in last year. I have done it on my own. I didn't need to go to anybody or get help of anybody. Such is the process, or such is the transparency in the system. If you know, if you go to their website, you have to just download the forms. You have to tick the boxes. You have to get the proper information. You have to get all your certificates or all the proper documents. Go there, submit it, and within I think 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, you will get your OP also. They generally say, even there is an online platform also where you can just put in, you can log in, you can submit all your data. They will process it online, and they will actually come back to you and tell you if there is anything missing. Once you have submitted everything, they will give you a time, and then immediately it moves on. So I think for anybody who is coming from India, and obviously when we come here, it's a new country, we always keep that in mind. We always have that at the back of our head, that whether what kind of problems we will face, do we need to, because pardon me, I'm not telling anything bad about our system in India, but we always think in India that let us get somebody, we can catch hold of somebody, he can get the work done for me. But trust me, in Mauritius, you don't need these kind of things. It is a very transparent system, because I have personally handled all these things. Second, there was, when I came here, I was being told that I cannot recruit Indians, or I have to recruit Mauritians. So in my company, we started off as a very small, we are a 700 people company in India. But when we started here on 1 or 2 people, and now we are 5-member team, and we are growing. Initially, we have taken Mauritians. We need mostly chartered accountants. I have taken one Indian chartered accountant also, and I was before I was taking that person, I was being told that there might be some issues, EDB can create issue. I have never faced a single issue from EDB. Once the documents were submitted, within I think 15 to 20 days, the OP was approved, and we got the person on board actually. In terms of FSC and Bank of Mauritius also, as I already said, that the regulators have been fantastic. I deal with most of the local corporates here. We do credit rating. That is, we do rating for the bonds or the bank facilities, and the corporate gets a benefit of that actually. So we have rated few of the big groups here. Like we started with a company or a big group called CL. Then we moved into a big group called ENL. Then we have rated the 2 private hospitals, which is under a company called C-Care. We have rated few banks, the top bank, Mauritius Commercial Bank, and we have rated Bank One also. So the journey has been initially a bit tough. It was very difficult to explain to these people that what credit rating is. But once they understood, they have picked it up, and they have started using those benefits actually. And another point I would like to highlight, which I think Mr. Sivraj Nandalalji, I think he has not mentioned, or he didn't, possibly he thought that this is not worth mentioning. But I understand that when the Indian entrepreneurs, they look for setting up a company in abroad, the first thing that comes to their mind is when they have to take debt, what is the interest cost that they have to share? And here I'd like to put in that the interest rates in Mauritius are much competitive what we get in India actually, in Mauritius, sorry. Compared to, if you have to take a loan, you will probably get it at, I don't know, pre-COVID, I know it used to be 9-10% or 11%. I might be wrong, but somewhere between 8 to 10%, higher, lower based on the credibility. Here that ranges between 5 to 6%. So obviously there is a 3 to 4% delta which you save, which straight away goes to your bottom line. I am telling you, this is above the tax benefits or whatever suggestions what Nandalalji said. Over and above that, you can save on the interest cost also. So, and second, you have, other than the Mauritian banks, there are 2 Indian banks which are present here. One is Bank of Baroda, which has been there, I think, since 1968 or 60s, I would say. And then we have State Bank of India there, and they are present. So even if you feel a bit uncomfortable that when we approach Mauritius, which banks to approach for loan or how to approach it, Mauritian banks are pretty helpful. I personally deal with three banks. They have been very helpful. But even SBI and Bank of Baroda, you can approach them. They are also very much approachable. And the interest rates they offer are definitely competitive than what you get in India. So this is my limited submission.
Sauravji, thank you so much. It was very humble of you to say that, you started small in Mauritius, but we all know what CARE ratings is in India and how they've grown and how it's like a semi-government organization, if I may say so. And thank you so much. I'll be coming back to you on these points and how being a large company in India and how being a small company in Mauritius, how it made a difference to you and whether you had any kind of a government support. But I'll come back to you on that one. Meanwhile, we have Jevanji back on us. Jevanji, welcome. I would like to know, you are having interest in Mozambique, in Madagascar, in Mauritius, in India. What do you think is the connect in all this, and how does it help an Indian exporter who's dying to get into Africa and the new gold, if I may say so? What do you think would be your experience and advice?
Thank you, Manpreet. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay. To me, Africa represents as the last frontier in the world economy. I think for next 20, 25 years, you will see that since Western economies are on the decline, developing countries or fast developing countries like India, Indonesia, China, they have to look for alternative markets. And in my experience, having worked with African countries, about 22 of them in last 45 years, and most of my procurement and supplies have been from the Asian countries. So I find that Africa still needs almost everything, and everything they need, India can produce. But the problems are that duty tariffs from India in most of the African countries are higher. And that is where Mauritius comes into play, advantage of which has been explained by Mr. Shivraj very well. So I feel Indians must look at setting up, production bases in Mauritius for African market.
Thank you so much, sir. There's one thing I would like to know from you. When you say manufacturing base, I know a lot of Indian companies that assume that Mauritius being a very small market, but as we are seeing today, it itself might be small, but the access is huge. In fact, I have got experiences from my background that people having 4 or 5 ancillary units, a small garment manufacturer from a city like Mumbai, who was having a small gala somewhere. What he did was he caught hold of a button supplier, a thread supplier, a sewing machine. I saw this question in the chat box also saying that, oh, it's a $50,000 investment. But, these 5 people came together, pooled in their machinery, their resources. It hardly came to $5,000 each. About, I think, 6 or 7 of them, out of which I think 50% is considered as their machineries are also considered. So they went into Africa and they were minting money within no time. In fact, a lot of American companies are sourcing from these countries for tax benefits and benefits. Do you think your experience has been similar, that the access to like an American market from Mauritius is better than what it comes from an Indian perspective?
In terms of textile and other products, where there is anti-dumping duty from these 3 developing countries that I mentioned, and there is a quota restriction, I think Mauritius will be better off as far as US and European markets are concerned. And as far as African markets are concerned, the thing is that there is a saying that take a leap and there'll be net. Meaning that you just have to dive and depend on your luck. I think you have to be there to start a business, and if you're seen there, the business is there. If you try to develop the business from, let's say, from India by email or by introducing your company, and all these things nowadays don't work, because people have access to every source of supply in the world. So yes, my experience has always been better as far as Africa is concerned.
So true, so true. I can talk from my own experience also, that when I started my business a few, I would say, decades ago, and we had an African customer, and I had been continuously, email was new, fax was common, so we've been pushing them that, and nothing was happening. Finally, I took the leap. I took a flight off to Africa. The guy meets me and he places an order within 5 minutes, and I was like, I've been pestering you since a while, and you never even bothered. You just used to reply politely and nothing happened. And now when I'm here, it took you just 5 minutes to place an order. He said, I just wanted to see how serious you were. So that was the one line answer that he gave me that really changed my life. But it's all about taking the leap. Thank you, sir. I'll come back to, yeah, please.
Yeah. I call it a leap of faith, Manpreet. Like since I've been out of Mozambique for a few months, people say that if you are not seen, we don't know whom to approach and do business with. Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, So you have to be there. You want to sell something, you have to be there with your stocks, and people will come.
I agree. Thank you so much, sir. I'll be coming back to you on. Next on today's panel, we have Mr. Rohil Suryakant. Rohil Makheja-ji is the Managing Director of SDZ Impex Limited. It's a limited company into export, distribution, retail, and incorporated in Mauritius. He's a co-owner of Calypso SARL Madagascar, which is a limited company into import and retail in Madagascar. He's an Indian citizen and resident in Mauritius since 2009, and he's been doing business with Mauritius and Africa since 1999. Welcome, sir. I think your perspective is going to change a lot of thoughts. Rohilji?
Hi. Can you hear me, Manpreetji?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
Such a fresh face, makes my day.
Great. Thank you, Sivrajji, for the wonderful presentation. You already covered all the technical aspects of how to do business in Mauritius and through Mauritius. Javinji, it's been a while since we met. We should catch up more often. And to everyone else who is here, I am an example of, I can say, the connect between India and Mauritius. I came here on 15th May 2009. I had my company incorporated in 3 days. I had my certificate of incorporation on 19th of May 2009. And I got my occupation permit on the 1st of June 2009. So in 15 days flat, I had my business up and running. And it's been now more than 11 years that I'm here. And I can tell from my experience that Mauritius, the tagline for Mauritius used to be the Paradise Island. I think it's the Paradise Island to do business in. It's the systems are so perfect, if I may say so, right from as I told you, from setting up your business to the banking, to customer friendly, to the interaction with the government organizations, right? At that time, it was not EDB, which is Economic Development Board. It was the Board of Investment. It was the BOI, but it's just a change of name. Finally, it remains the same organization. The way you were greeted, I met the representative just before I left at Mumbai, and I felt that the country was welcoming you. It was like how we enter a relative's house and you are welcomed in very fondly. It was that experience right from that office in Mumbai in Cuff Parade. I don't remember the building, but I remember the day, and I remember the gentleman. I think he's now a senior politician here who is now in Mauritius. But I still remember his name and how well he greeted me when I said I'm going to start my company in Mauritius. And from that day onwards, I know people have a lot of if many people ask me, like many people travel abroad and start and work for another company, but very, very few people actually migrate and set up their own business in a new country, which is a very, very risky sort of thinking. But I, for one, can tell from experience that Mauritius is a beautiful country to set up a business. I've been here for 11 years. We also have now a business in Madagascar up and running. We've been exporting to other African countries from Mauritius. and all the systems are perfect. As my good friend from India was referring, from India we have this way of thinking we need somebody. I had nobody, believe me, I came alone. I came and set up my business without help from any agent or anybody. It was right at the Board of Investment in Bombay and then in Mauritius. Everything was seamless. Even now, renewals, everything is online. The tax compliances are so perfect. Everything is perfect. If I'm, as I told you, it's a paradise island for doing business in. And I would urge Indian companies, Indian citizens to actually come down and have a look at the infrastructure they have for business here. It's very easy. And as another friend of mine was telling, we are COVID-free at the moment. It's like living in a world where we see on TV that the whole world is burning, but we are safe in the middle of the ocean. So today, of course, it's mandatory for us to have a mask whenever we go out. But we are one of the few rare countries in the world, and thanks to the government did a fantastic job to sort of wipe out COVID. We stopped we closed the borders. There was a total lockdown. We were not even allowed to go out to buy groceries for a week or so. But I think it helped, and it's really a lesson for other countries how to manage such a enormous calamity. It is unbelievable how they have managed it, and I think credit needs to be given where it's due. The government has done a fabulous job of controlling this great pandemic which is affecting all other countries. I'm open for any questions. I think many people may have questions. I think that would be a better presentation than a presentation about Mauritius. Yes.
No, definitely. We are going to be opening up for question and answer. We just have 2-3 more speakers to go. And I'm sure everybody's experience is going to be enlightening. And like I said, even I personally might be interested in setting up in Mauritius. I've been exporting to Mauritius since a while, like you mentioned, trading to the world. So my customer in Mauritius, this was about 10, 12 years ago. He comes to me, he said he wants a small order. We have a small manufacturing unit of footwear soles. So when he said that he wants to import to Mauritius, I said, "Acha, theek hai, kitna le lega?" Hardly 500 pairs, 1,000 pairs. This guy started importing, and there was no end to it. It was 1 container, 2 container. We were like, me and my father, it's a family business. We were boggled. Like, where is so much material going? So we asked him, and he was like, what? He's like, no, I'm supplying to Bata, Mauritius. Oh, that's great. He put us on to, very nice gentleman, put us on to Bata, Mauritius directly. Bata, Mauritius started importing container loads. And we were like wondering, what is Bata, Mauritius doing with all this? They in turn were supplying to Bata, Canada and Bata all over the world. And we were like really surprised. So that's the power of Mauritius, if you really ask me. Seen it firsthand. So definitely, I'm sure your experience has been similar, and it's been, a growing experience for your business also. I'll be coming back to you on with all the questions that people might have. Next, we have our Dr. Jitendra Joshi ji. Joshi ji has been an MD and group chairman of ABI Group of companies. They are globally in about 65 countries with global corporate office in Dubai. ABI Group has ABI Logistics, Ash Logistics, Traders, Private Limited, ABI Impact International in Dubai. They are in entertainment, events, healthcare, reality, and we have also news bureaus. And also he started the ABI Charitable Foundation to serve the needy. He's having a PhD in supply chain management, MMS, PBMS. His qualification goes endless. He's also the founder and president of Global India Business Forum, which is having 65,000 plus members from more than 75 countries. We're proud to be associated with him and his organization since a while now, and it helps us diverge more information to more number of people, to connect more businesses, to ensure that everybody gets his share of business and well-deserved connects. We are both specifically focusing on MSME companies. So he's also been well-traveled, and young inspirations has been given by him to thousands of youngsters. Sir, Joshi ji, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm audible.
Sorry. Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a really great session. I'm hearing Mr. Sivraj. Yeah, it's a lot of really good information given by Mr. Sivraj in his presentation. And I think most of the Indian MSMEs, after seeing the presentation, is very curious to set up the business in Mauritius as early as possible. As MSME sector, we all aware that definitely affected after pandemic. But at the same time, the positive news is that Indian government has played a fantastic role by changing the definition of MSME. At the same time, now when we are thinking about the exports from India, the more important thing is that maybe before COVID, one example is that we are not manufacturing a single kit of PPE. And now with the lakhs of PPE kit has been manufactured in India. And I want to endorse the point of Mr. Modi, who is our honorable Prime Minister, that vocal को local level पे लेके जाना है और local को global बनाना है. So there are a lot of businessmen now started thinking that how our products should be at the global level. I think, sir, your organization and Global India, the main motto is the same, to promote Indian businessmen at the world platform. And I think just now you are discussing about few minutes back the market share of Mauritius. So it doesn't matter with the small and big, but at the same time, when we see in terms of figures, I was going through the Mauritius imports. Right now, maybe around $776 million import has been done by Mauritius from the Indian businessman in 2019. But when we look at the figure, there Mauritius is importing from the 10 different countries. And if you see the second, third, and fourth number, which is China, South Africa, and France. So when we calculate the total figure is around 35% import from those countries. And if we really want that MSME businessmen want to promote their businessmen, either export from India to Mauritius or set up unit in Mauritius, the figures are really fantastic. I think 35% business share is there. And if we see in terms of figure, the $1,200 million business is still potentially is there only in Mauritius. And Mr. Sivraj, your presentation is really to the point that even after maybe this session, if anybody want to see it online, I think a lot of things will be very clearly mentioned in your presentation. Global India Business Forum can contribute for Mauritius along with Mr. Manpreet MP CB, that maybe the certificate of origin definitely we can provide in a very minimum rate. International import-export license is the very important thing. Many small businessmen are not aware how to go about it. So Global India Business Forum can definitely give good guidelines for those businessmen along with Mr. Manpreet in future, so that we can together give the guidelines for the micro and the small businessmen. At the same time, the logistical support. The logistical support is very, very important because many small and medium scale businessmen are not aware, even though the product is good, they want to export, but at the same time, they are not aware how exactly I should go about it. Even though they have the export partner is also there, there are customers at maybe at the destination, but that chain is weak sometimes. So here, Global India Business Forum along with Mr. Manpreet, definitely in future, we are ready to support them at all level, at maybe for the ocean exports, for the air exports. And I think that is the need of ours now, that everybody should start working together. In isolation, we can't work now after COVID. I think this is the teamwork which is needed at the global level. Mr. Parvit, I will make it short. Really, thanks to all of you for inviting me this platform. And I think we should definitely go ahead and work together for the great future of India and Mauritius together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joshi ji. It's been a pleasure to have you here with us, and you know how you are connecting so many people across the globe and supporting especially MSME companies. We would look at a lot of support from you when it comes to Mauritius. Thank you so much. Next, we have Arunachalam ji. Arunachalam ji, can you hear us? He's been earlier the head of operations of COM, which is the submarine cable systems company with Southeast Africa and rest of the world. And he was also responsible for building COM, Falcon, I2I cable systems, and a lot of innovation that he's been seeing coming from his end. Welcome, sir. I think he's on unmute. 1 second. So these are the technical things that we keep having.
Thank you, Manpreet Singh.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for organizing such a lovely session. And thank you, Mr. Sivraj, for exposing about Mauritius and EDB's activities in this forum. And thank you, Ms. Anjali, for always supporting Indian traders at our Indian embassy. And be kindful and thankful to everybody. And I'm Arunachalam Kandasamy. I hail from south part of India. And it's not just, I went into Mauritius in 18th April 2009 and 11 years are there. Life is simple. I went for a professional of constructing a submarine cable system from South Africa to Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, and to Egypt and crossed to Europe. So that's how I landed as a professional in Mauritius. But I have become an entrepreneur now. To contribute to the digital paradise vision of government of Mauritius. We are in the way of constructing an undersea submarine cable system connecting India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Rodrigues, Mauritius, and Reunion, Madagascar to South Africa. This undersea cable system will provide the digital communications, and this has been started in the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Pravin Jagannath ji when he was ICT Minister in 2014 and 2015 earlier, and that is his vision that we are working towards to convert in that. And we have almost completed about 80% of the manufacturing between Rodrigues, Mauritius to South Africa. We also obtained licenses in all those countries. I think after the pandemic and the way we are now working from everywhere, not only from your office premises and from homes and different locations. I think I can see from the beach views from Arun Bhatke. So all those things is possible only from the digital communications, and that's why Mr. Sivraj was also mentioning about the infrastructure which Mauritius is connecting together, right? So thank you so much, Mr. Sivraj, putting up IOX into that slide and promoting that one. And thanks to Pratima ji as well, who is always supporting us from EDB and promoting on our cable system. And definitely for anyone who would like to do the business in Mauritius, this digital communication will be much more helpful, so that you don't need to be completely present in any country to do the business. You can digitally and remotely able to do this business. And main thing that Mr. Sivraj, you are mentioning about welcoming the investors. Yes, there is a lot of opportunity for the Indian investors to come and invest in Mauritius. But also one more thing part which I would like to highlight, and which you can also mention it. There is a very great opportunities that you don't need to set a complete manufacturing facility in Mauritius. You can also do the value-added services in a free port area that you can promote and export to the Africa. So that still attract your tax benefits and business benefits that you can do it. Another thing is, Mr. Sivraj, you can also add up one thing proudly, which I can say, as I'm living for the 11 years there, and there's a no crime rate. Okay, so the police force is mainly to safeguard and secure the people, and the crime rate is very low, and everybody knows everyone. So the crime rate is very less, is helping everybody to move freely. So that is a highlight which I can say in Mauritius. Life is very simple, no stress. You just focus on your business. There is no other worries about compliances and everything. The system takes care, and it is only checklist based country. As long as you fill in your checklist and you give your documents, everything is done. There is no comma, there is no semicolon, there's only full stop. Okay, so that's a 1 cent worth of my view and express the experience living in Mauritius. And another thing and a highlight which I can add, which I worked in and lived in many other countries. The highlight of India in Mauritius is that unless otherwise, until I start opening and my mouth and speaking, nobody realized that I'm an Indian, I'm a foreigner in Mauritius, because our faces are similar and we look similar and we feel like local, and not even giving me opportunity to learn Creole, and because everybody speak to me in nice English and Hindi, and there is no necessity to go and learn your local languages, no struggle. Okay, life is simple in Mauritius, and you just focus on your goal, you will be able to achieve. Thank you so much, Manpreet Singh, for this opportunity. And
thank
it is my pleasure to
Arajay.
get connected with everybody.
I'm very sorry, we've not been able to give enough time to everybody because time is short. And thank you, Arunji, for your experiences. And all of you all speakers mentioned something that is very different from each other. All of your experiences have been very different. But when you put everything together, it's like every color rose coming together and giving a beautiful bouquet, which is called Mauritius. So thank you so much. I would now like to open up to question and answers. We have very little time left, but I'm sure all of us would be able to give 15 minutes extra for this lovely session. So those who would like to ask questions, I request you all to please raise your hand so that we can unmute and you all can ask your questions. Any questions, we'll be more than happy to take up. We have Mr. Sridhar. Sridharji, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Please introduce yourself and if you have a question to any particular panelist, please.
Thank you, Mr. Manpreet. It was a really wonderful and thought-provoking ideas and information. Really, we appreciate it. We are interested to know, we are basically into the HR solutions provider company in Indian industries. We are interested to start some office in Mauritius. So what will be the approximately budget required for the office setup, and second thing for the residence purpose, approximately around?
Sivarajji, can you answer that question, please? Are you around?
Yeah, I'm here, of course. Yes, yes, Manpreetji. Yeah, I would like to first of all thank all the panelists. I think each one's own experience add to the, as you rightly said, adds to the beautiful bouquet that Mauritius offers. And so to come to Mr. Sridhar's query, what I will do, Mr. Sridhar, I will share with you, because we do have a document that gives you all the details in terms of the cost of doing business in Mauritius, including the cost of setting up a company or setting up an office in Mauritius. So I'll share that with you. One of the slides, I just brought a summary of some of the costs, but I will share that with you. If you can just send me your email, that will make it easier. That's one thing. And I'm sure that from one of the panelists who have been there or who are in Mauritius, they can tell you about, when you speak about the cost of living, who can be a better person than somebody who is already based in Mauritius from India and staying in Mauritius. So maybe one of the panelists would like to share their own of the cost of living, their own experience. I don't know, Mr. Rohil, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sivarajji, you can share with us. We'll be more than happy to share across with all the people who are attending today. We had nearly 100 people attending today. So we will be sharing all your presentations, your contact details of all the speakers across. Can we have a next question, please? Anyone else? No questions? Okay, let me just take a risk and unmute everybody. And let's see what happens. But I expect decorum, so please unmute yourself, ask your question, and stick to one question only.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I am Vaishali from Maharashtra, Thane. So we are manufacturers of cold-pressed edible oils. Is there any opportunity in Mauritius to export our cooking range oils?
Hello. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, Vaishali, ma'am, of course, I mean, Mauritius, we do import. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, wait. I will have to.
I think
that's what happens when you unmute everybody.
Please unmute everybody, sir.
I think that should do the trick.
Okay, yeah. So to Vaishali, ma'am, definitely yes. There is a market for import. I mean, to export oil to Mauritius. Okay. And what we can do, we can share with you the contact of the chamber, Mauritius Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Their members who are importing, so they can get in touch with what you have to offer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Vaishali ji. Anyone else? Any questions?
I would like to ask.
Yes, Mr. Manpreet, good evening. This is Vijay Kangoni from Mumbai, Newark. Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we are into pharmaceutical formulation marketing in various African countries. And what I would like to know is what are the regulatory requirements of Mauritius product registration of finished products, means medicines I'm talking about. If anybody related with pharma there can reply, sir.
For registration of for registration of pharmaceutical products, we do have the pharmacy board in Mauritius, and so all the inputs of pharmaceutical products are regulated by the pharmacy board. So you will need to register the products, get an import license from them, from the pharmacy board, and then you can supply the market. Yeah. First, you have to make sure that the products are registered with the pharmacy board. Yeah.
I think that
usually
answers
how much time it takes, sir, for registration of a product? Last question.
I wouldn't be able to reply to you on that one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can send us an email and we can take it up directly.
Sure,
thank you so much. Gauri Khairji, Gauriji, are you around?
Yes, Manpreet, thank you so much. I'm into skill development for the hospitality sector. I've already sent you a mail. So in Mauritius, since tourism is one of the main industries, and hotels, would it be possible to connect with the hotels who would be interested in skill development?
We can also do that. Shivrajji can do that, and even the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce. So we'll be happy to take it up.
Great. I've already sent you a mail.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, bye-bye.
Next question we have Jay Vagani ji. Jay ji. Okay. Next one, Nilesh ji. Any questions for any of the panelists? I think the experience spoke a lot. Nobody wants to ask anything. I think then we'll continue. Just last two questions.
Can I ask Mantri?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. This is Kamal. We are looking for opportunity in warehousing construction in Mauritius.
Who is this question directed to?
This is to obviously anybody who can help us in Africa as well as in Mauritius also.
So if you're looking into the construction industry, the best thing would be for you to set up an office, because I would say that if you look at opportunities, that's the best way to go about it.
Okay. Yeah. No, we are in warehousing construction.
No, even they have, because there are opportunities for like I mentioned, that is at the airport we have a cargo project for cargo facilities that will come up. So definitely there will be opportunities, but the best option is to have an office and then to look at the opportunities from there.
Yeah, please share me your details so at least we can coordinate.
Yeah, Kamal, we can get that done. Yeah, Javinji.
Thank you, Manpreet.
Javinji, can you answer
about the warehousing question of Mr. Kamal? For the African countries, there are great opportunities for the warehousing.
One second. Let me just mute the others. One second.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Kamal, for the warehousing, there
are. You're muted, sir. Jitendra ji, Joshi ji, you're on mute.
Can I hear now?
Hello? Yeah. Clear.
Mr. Kamal, for anything related to warehousing opportunities in specifically in African countries, and Africa is a next generation market now. Maybe after 20 years, maybe many companies can think from China, India also to African countries. So in that case, specifically Ethiopia, Nigeria, and there are two, three more African countries where Global India Business Forum can definitely help you out for the specific requirement of your warehousing related things. Through Mr. Manpreet, you can send us the mail and we will be there to guide you in a very proper manner.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to connect you all. Thank you so much. Thank you both of you. Javinji, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
What I wanted to say was, since ICIB and the EDB is looking towards African market, our business council in Mozambique, the Indian Business Council, is very active in promoting and facilitating investments and businesses from all over the world, especially India and Mauritius. So on today's participants, we have the current president of the IBC, Mr. Dipankar. So I will be sharing his contact with you, Manpreet, and
Sure.
maybe you can take up, activities
Definitely.
related to this promotion of business with him.
Thank you so much. And you are there for Mozambique also. We are going to be troubling you a lot.
You're most welcome.
Next, we have Sudha Navandarji. Sudhaji, would you like to ask a question? You've been unmuted.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Sudhaji. Yeah, we can hear you.
This is Sudha Navandar. We are chartered accountants and I'm CPA from US. Is there any opportunity in Mauritius for professionals? Like chartered accountants, any services we can render with tie-up with?
Yes, I would like to add something before Saurabh, you can answer that. When I met the Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius in Mumbai, so we had a discussion. That time, that hot topic was, all that money flowing into India from Mauritius, and there was a lot of humbug about it, and that money is coming, and so much is coming, a lot of regulatory changes. So he just answered one question to me. India, the flow into India from Mauritius, out of that total bouquet is hardly 3%. And that's what the chaos was all about. So in India terms, the figure was very absolute. But when it came to the percentage wise and exposure to Mauritius, it was just 3%. So can you imagine the kind of money flowing into Mauritius and out of Mauritius from the whole world, and the kind of business generated for professionals? So that's my 2 cents on that. Saurabhji, on to you.
Yeah. No, just to answer the question, yes, there are requirement of Indian chartered accountants. There are Indian chartered accountant diaspora also. Indian chartered accountant had opened, I think, an office, or they have a representative office. Plus, if you're a CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst with USA, yes, that is also recognized in Mauritius. A lot of financial people working in the financial domain, they look for chartered accountants and CFAs. Indian chartered accountants, US CFAs and all, there is a demand. Banking sector, financial sector is pretty active here. And in fact, the business, global GBC sector, or we say the financial services sector, forms a big part of the GDP actually. So definitely, yes, I think Mr. Shivraji can help you out. You can get the correct connect and all. There is demand, there is a requirement. And there are people who are doing well here also.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sudhaji. Thank you, Saurabhji. Okay, we have time for one last question from Tausif. Tausifji, can you hear us? Please unmute yourself and answer your question. Ask your question, please. Tausifji? Okay, I guess one last question, Devendra Chogleji from Dexpo. Devendraji? Anyways, one last question from anyone, and then we should call it a day, I think. Okay, let me unmute everybody in case that's a problem. Okay, whoever would like to ask a question, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Sir, this is Tausif. You were trying to unmute me, and then there was an issue there.
Sorry, yes, Tausif, please.
Yeah, so the question here was, see, I come from a spices background. Basically, we are manufacturers of, turmeric, coriander, and chili. So, we have been exporting through merchant exporters to a few countries. So I was looking at the scope of, the export market in Mauritius. So if someone can just guide me through what's the spices market there, and how should we go about it?
So if you can send me, Mr. Tausif, if you can send me an email, I will share with you the contact detail of the Chamber of Commerce. Because their members, they are importing, most of their members are importing the spices from India. So they'll be able to get in touch with you, and you can, promote your products with the import.
Amita likha.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much. I'll definitely get in touch with you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like, yeah.
Manpreet?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, Manpreet.
Good evening, Rajiv ji. Okay, we have one last question from Rajiv ji. Rajiv ji, please go ahead.
Yeah, as we are into education business, so I would like to be associated with some good medical colleges in Mauritius. We have a lot of students, who study abroad. So if we can send a good number to Mauritius.
Yes, Rajiv. So in fact, we do have the SSR Medical College, which is in fact promoted by an Indian citizen, and so definitely, I mean, I'll get your contact with Manpreet ji from Manpreet ji, then we can share with you the contact details of the SSR Medical College, so you can get in touch with them.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would now like to have
one question. I
we're short on time. I have no problem. I can be here all evening. Okay, quick one.
Okay.
Quick one.
Thank you for your support. And I can see a lot of colleagues are there, and I invited them to attend this presentation and this seminar. It's very helpful for us. So we are a group of companies representing many different businesses, and we have a sustainable business ecosystem. So we are looking for, is there any opportunity for IT sector where we can develop in Mauritius? There is one colleague is with me, he's asking me, so I asked him on behalf of him.
I would like to answer that. For IT sector, there is a huge directory of IT companies operating in Mauritius, which is there. So it is one of the largest sectors. I think Sivraj ji can highlight more on that. It is one of the largest bases in the African region.
Yeah, in fact, the IT sector is, especially now with the pandemic also, everybody has moved on digital platforms. So there is a huge opportunity, not only like in the basic IT services, but also for value added. For example, data centers, cloud-based applications, SaaS, and all those. And so to Mauritius, we are bilingual. So you have the opportunity of servicing not only the English-speaking countries, but at the same time, the French-speaking countries as well. So you can look at Africa as a huge market from this perspective for both the French-speaking African countries, but also for the English-speaking ones.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Manpreet. Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Hello.
Yes, Paresh ji.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I have a question. We are into 100% water-soluble plastic film and compostable biodegradable film, and we are looking for distributor in Mauritius. And once the distributor is set up, then we will be thinking after a year or so to put up a manufacturing plant in Mauritius. So can we get result-oriented distributor in Mauritius for this product? Because this product has a great demand world over, because nowadays there is a environmental issues, and plastic has got a lot of problem, disposal and all, and it evaporates toxic gases, so many problems. And we have 100% guaranteed with the laboratory test report, ISO, everything is there. We have our own manufacturing unit and everything under one roof. So can we get your support to get reliable distributor for that?
1 second, just 1 second. Hello. I request the panelists to please unmute themselves.
Yes, Manoj.
Yes.
Yeah. Can we have, we're very sorry, friends, that we won't be able to take any more questions, although we would love to help everybody. Please send all your emails and specific queries to office@icib.org.in. We'll be happy to connect you with all the speakers, all the companies in Mauritius, the Chamber of Commerce in Mauritius and in India, in addition to all the other stakeholders that we have around the Indian Embassy in Mauritius, the Mauritius High Commission in India. All of us are ready to help you without any problems. Meanwhile, I request all the speakers to please have their closing remarks. Thank you so much.
So I'll start with, yes, thanks to ICIB, thanks to Indian High Commission, thanks to Mr. Nandlal from the Consulate of Mauritius for organizing this webinar. And I think that's fantastic. We had a great session, and as I said, I would again like to say that EDB, whether we talk about EDB, whether we talk about Indian High Commission, whether we talk about the expats here, all are very supportive. Even the Mauritians, as one of the panelists said, that you won't actually feel like you are in a foreign country. It seems like you are in India itself. Even the food to a lot extent matches. So anybody who is willing, they can always come down. It's like, as even somebody said, that it's like somebody opening the doors. They're welcoming people. It's absolutely, the people are very warm, and the business environment and everything is very conducive, and you can very well come and set up your business. So that's my from my part, and definitely both Indian High Commission and EDB are very much approachable. So there's no issue on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you so much. It's been our pleasure to have you with us today and taking out time on a weekday, and that too in the afternoon. I mean, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
you. Yeah. Jevinji, can we have your closing remarks, please?
Yes, I would encourage very strongly all the participants to consider Mauritius as a trading or manufacturing base in case they are looking for African market for next 25-30 years. I'm telling you, it's the growing area and nothing is going to stop it. Trust me, I've been there for the last 25 years and it's going to grow and keep growing. So please don't worry about everything. Security, safety, everything Mauritius is offering. Just go to the African market via Mauritius.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jevinji. Arunji, can we have your valuable inputs, please?
Thank you, Manpreet Singh, and thank you so much for organizing this call. And to all the participants, welcome to the digital paradise. And life is simple here, and we are all here, and we are here to help you. And there is no worry, everything is simple. And the final sentence, Manpreet Singh, for ICIB to be the confidence of the Indian traders in the global markets. It's highly appreciated. And thanks to Mr. Sivraj, representing Mauritius in India. I represent both the countries by nationality and as well as the residentship. And thanks to Anjali ji for all your support in Indians in Mauritius. And thank you for everybody attending this session. It's a wonderful and lovely session. And have a great evening.
Thank you, Arunji. Thank you so much. Rohilji, can we have the last few comments from your side?
So as everyone has said, I would echo the sentiments of everybody. I think Mauritius is the place, if you want to be in Africa, if you want to export to Africa, I think Mauritius is the springboard. You need to be here either as a trading company or more as a manufacturing company to get a lot of benefits of these free trade agreements that Mauritius has signed with many African countries. And going forward, as everyone knows, the next centuries of Africa, all the continents have had their chance. Africa is going to come up, and I think there's no better place than Mauritius to be a springboard. So you can have your office here or your manufacturing here, and you can target all the countries of COMESA and SADC, and even going forward EU actually.
Thank you so much, Royalji. It's been our pleasure to have you here, and thank you once again for removing time for us and for all the people who are dying to get into Africa through Mauritius. Joshiji.
Thank you, Manpreet. It's a really productive session, even though it is in the evening time at the weekend. But I think this is a really productive time for each and everyone, for us also, because we learn a lot of things from each other. And ICIB is really doing a great job. You as a president, I think the best selection they have. You are taking a lot of things ahead. And Global India Business Forum and ICIB, along with Consulate of Mauritius and with the help of Anjali ji, I think we can definitely do a lot of helps to MSME sector in future. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Joshiji. And last but most important, Sivraj ji, with his most valuable input and comments and his experience of being in India and taking Indian companies to Mauritius. Sivraj ji, can we have your closing remarks, please?
Yes, Manpreet ji. First of all, allow me again to thank you and your team, and also for putting up such a beautiful panel and program with all the expert panelists. And to all the panelists, thanks for sharing your own experience about Mauritius. I think if I had spoken about Mauritius from my perspective, it would have not made such a difference when you speak, being from India, being now in Mauritius, doing business in Mauritius, with Mauritius and also in Africa, it makes a huge difference. So thank you to all of you, and thank you for Manpreet for this panel. So having said this, I think what is also very important here is, I think, when we look at the Indian scenario today, we know that it is a business, I would say, a business war with China. That we all know about it. So every sentiment is anti-China. So if we speak about how we're going to beat China, I think what is important is the battle is not here in India. The battle is out there in the world. So how are you going to capture the market share? Mr. Jevin will concur with me that if one Chinese looks at one single opportunity, which is even for one single paise, that Chinese will go for it. And from that paise opportunity, he makes crores of profit, crores of rupees. He becomes crorepati overnight. That's how he does business. There was one Chinese who left China with $7 in his pocket. He went to Ghana. Today, he's a multi-billionaire. He's got big, huge office spaces in Shanghai and all over the place. So just to say how they go, they grab an opportunity, they start the business. So this is my message to you people from India. If you sit and wait, the others will not wait. They will just walk past you and then they're going to grab the opportunity. So I know it even hurts when even one paise of risk you're taking and you lose that one paise, it hurts in your pocket. But it's worth taking a $50,000 US risk, and the fruits of that risk are going to be very sweet. Believe me. Thank you.
Sivrajji, thank you so much. You know, now I was wondering where all the crores went and I'm left only being a pati. So thank you so much. I mean, thank you so much. They've all been a lovely audience. Thank you, participants, for being with us today. Thank you, all the speakers, on behalf of ICIB, on behalf of Sivrajji, on behalf of EDB, on behalf of our Indian High Commission. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the panelists who gave us so much time at this weekend. A big thank you. I would like to end the session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thanks. And stay safe, everybody.